And we're here. I forgot to do this last week, so I'm doing it this week. Boop. Oh, apparently not. I'm not. Or perhaps I am. Who knows? I sure don't. Volume 3 of Ladies Grey and Lucy White. Putting one foot in front of the other, you continue on through this strange alien world. Just when you think stuff is beginning to make sense, it all slips through your fingers and becomes even stranger and more alien. There does, however, seem to be one thing that remains constant through all planets and walks of life. That thing is friendship. You are on the prowl for more. It would have perhaps been wise to stay with one of your wonderful new friends until you are fully healed. But as Martha Stewart said, visitors like fish begin to smell after 3 days. You are almost positive Martha Stewart said that. Let's find out who said that.
Hello, colliding trucks.
Boop. Benjamin Franklin. Nevertheless, you soldier on in your endless quest for companionship. Where will your travels where will your travels take you next? Let's just boop. You've been traveling through a cave network for a while now. The rigid stone is a welcome respite from the eerily organic infrastructure you've been encountering, but it is also proving an unwelcome respite from friend making. Maybe it was too much to hope for that this cavern would be home to another potential new buddy. Maybe leaving the big city behind was a horrible mistake. Just maybe these dark, cold tunnels are completely devoid of. Oh, hang on, there's a bunch of buildings in the distance. Alright. So now I guess I have to think of a voice. Ooh. Alright. Hello. I thought you were one of my girls, but you don't look like a jade blood or anything else, actually. How strange. You convey your usual spiel regarding your circumstances. You are lost and lonely, and your ribs are still broken, you think? Honestly, the ribs are fine. You could just use another friend or two. I see. My first responsibility is to my jades and the mother grub, so I can't make any promises of friendship just yet, but you do look like you need someone to take care of you. Here in the Brooding Caverns, we follow a few simple rules. 1. Don't invite drama from up top down below. 2. Protect the mother grub. 3. We have no hierarchy, but do what I say. Let's do everything we can to keep up our current record of dozens of sweeps without any jades being cold. You're not sure what half of those words mean, but you nod your head. Good, I'll take you to our hive. Follow me. You follow her into her hive, which looks like a school or some sort of dormitory, with multiple rooms and multiple floors. Usually more of my jades are around. I suppose that everyone is out watching the Imperial drones arrive with the filial pails. Girls, we have a visitor to our caverns. 1. Do not be alarmed by their bizarre appearance. They seem to be harmless and quite weak. 2. Do not give them more injuries than they already have. Our visitor deserves a warm jade blood welcome. She claps her hands. No one else is around, but you stand to attention and give her the thumbs up to show that you read her loud and clear. You notice that she called you visitor and not friend, but that's okay. You can do whatever it takes until you're upgraded from visitor to friend, or at least charity case. You follow her upstairs and she stops at a big room on the second floor. When you step into it, you have to clap your hand over your mouth to keep from gagging at the revolting sight. There are big, baby-sized larva-looking things all over the floor, squirming around and crying and inchworming out of kiddie pools of green slime. What the hell? This is our nursery. Most of these wigglers are sick or injured, so we look after them in here until they're well enough to go back out to the caverns and spin their cocoons. She looks shifty all of a sudden, giving you some side-eye like she's sizing you up. You try to look very non-threatening and also 100% trustworthy. We keep this nursery on the down low. It's not against any laws, but it's something of a break with tradition to save any of the grubs instead of just letting them die. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure why we do it. I guess it just feels right to take care of them the same way I take care of my jades. A nursery, huh? You look around again with this new information. You guess you can sort of see how the wigglers look like babies? You can't believe that one of these things could grow up into anything that looks like Branya, but this is an alien planet, so who knows? She takes you over to a shelf that seems to hold medical supplies. You're not sure what can be done for your broken ribs, but maybe she has some kind of alien technology that can help. But when she starts going through the cabinet, you don't see anything that looks high tech, like the thing that fixed your arm. I guess that most of the stuff we have, I guess that most of what we have is stuff for the wigglers, and I'm not familiar enough with your bizarre anatomy to know if it will help. But if you're not completely sure how to do something, it's best to try anyway. 1. Even if you fail, everyone else can still learn from your mistake. 2. Maybe you won't fail. You never know. You're not so sure about applying this ethos to your broken ribs, but she looks so determined it might be rude to say no. Boop, boop. Go for it. My ribs are already broken, so where's the harm? Okay, come here. Lift up your shirt so I can get to your injured bellow sack enclosures. Yes, like that. Turn the part that's all bloody and horrifying towards me. She has something that looks like some kind of ointment. It's a shade of bright green, similar to the slime beds you see around the nursery, and it also seems to be glowing. Seems like there's nothing wrong about applying it to your skin. But despite your optimism, the second Branya rubs some of it on your broken skin, you feel a searing hot pain like you just got doused with poison. You flinch back instinctively. Your momentum carries you too far, and as you step back, you trip on something behind your feet. You cartwheel your arms, but it's no use. You're going down, you're yelling timber. You feel something soft and squishy break your fall, and you hear a terrible squelching noise and some kind of animal squeal. Oh no. You have fallen right onto one of the wigglers. You roll off of it, but there's no use. It's squished flat and you're covered in olive fluid that you think might be its blood. You look up to see Branya's horrified face, and know that there's no hope for friendship in those vengeful eyes. You might want to run before I throw you out this window and break the rest of your bones! Game over. Alternia's deadliest ass. You're raking up a freaking kill streak with that. Why do we... Alright. Her muse. You inspired a struggling artist. The new Moisture Wave. You sympathize with the drawbacks of online fame. What the heck is this stuff? Why did it act like I got these? I never got these. Did I? No, I don't think I did. Then what is befriend everyone? Oh, I'll befriend everyone, alright. Thanks, but no thanks. I'll heal on my own just fine. Oh, well, if you're sure. I'm worried about you, though. You seem like you need help, and I wish I could help you more. If I can't take care of someone, I'm not sure how we can ever truly be friends. You try to cheer her up, pointing out that friendship is a two-way street after all. She doesn't have to concern yourself with your mutilated frame. How can you help her instead? Well, sure, there are things around here that I could use some assistance with. However, don't take this the wrong way, but we've only just met. I don't know that I can trust you to be as responsible as I am. It's not easy to be the one in charge. You have to be 1. Conscientious, 2. Considerate, and 3. Competent at all times. You try to think of times in your life when you've been conscientious, considerate, or competent. You're drawing a bit of a blank, but hey, new planet, new you. You assure her that you have what it takes. I guess if you want to prove that you can be responsible, I can let you help me out today. It's a good time for a visit to the mother grub. You're careful to step around all the little guys on the floor as you head out of the nursery. She takes you back outside, and these caverns are even bigger than you first realized. They're also dark and cold and gloomy, and you can't see anywhere that might lead up to the planet's surface. Does she really just live down here all the time? To make some conversation during this cold hike in a damp cave, you mentioned that living underground like this seems kinda depressing. You realize too late that this wasn't very tactful, but she doesn't get angry at your conversational gambit of insulting her home. Oh no, it's very peaceful down here, well, in comparison to anywhere else. I quite enjoy it. The Brooding Caverns are a place for life and birth, not death. That's pretty uncommon on Alternia. You're still not sure what she means by brooding caverns, but you guess it has something to do with the wigglers in her nursery. Before you can ask, you reach the top of a ridge and get a new, wider view of the rest of this cavern. It's enormous, probably the size of a small city. All over the cave floor, you see more wigglers crawling everywhere. Cocoons line the cave walls and larger stalactites, with some young trolls crawling out of them. Walking, flying, and crawling along the wigglers and young trolls are a variety of white monsters of all kinds of shapes and sizes. In the center of the cavern, there is... You don't even know how to describe it. It looks like a huge many-legged queen bug of some kind with a goat-shaped skull and horns coming out of her head. Her bulbous sphincter ripples as she lays a continuous stream of hundreds of eggs, from which you assume the gray wigglers will hatch. And marching through all this, you see several hulking bipedal creatures, each carrying 2 buckets either to or away from the mother grub. They look armed and they move like regimented troops, soldiers of some kind. You are instinctively terrified of them. This is where the magic happens, and by that, I mean the continuation of our species. Jadebloods like myself are entrusted with looking after this process, which of course is a very special job. 1. The Imperial drones carry filial pails of genetic material to the mother grub for her slurry. 2. She lays eggs that hatch new grub broods. 3. After the wigglers emerge from their cocoons, the new trolls will go through the trials, and the ones that make it will be selected by elusives to help care for them. 4. Together, the young trolls and their elusi go up to the surface together, where the trolls will grow up or get colder or whatever. As Branya explains troll reproduction to you, one of the Imperial drones veers sharply to the left and, in the process, tramples over a few wigglers and young trolls. The drone continues on, but several of the Luci crawl out, crowding around their dead or injured chargers. Oh no. Oh my. One of them, a gigantic beast that resembles a bison, bellows and rears up on its hind legs, hitting one of the other Luci with its front hoof. Oh no. Oh geez. Not again. This kind of damage control is a lot of what we have to deal with. Whenever a Luci goes rogue out of grief or confusion, there's a potential for it to lash out at other Luci, the Wigglers, or the Mother Grub herself. We Jadebloods cannot let that happen. She looks so concerned, a marked contrast to how confident she seemed before now. You offered to help her out earlier, and it seems like now's your chance. Someone had to stop that rogue Lucis, and that someone could be... you? I actually made a meme of this, like, some period of time ago. Let me just...
Hello, colliding trucks.
Let's just see if I can, boop. If I just scroll all the way to the bottom really quickly. Boop. I don't... there. It's perfect. Everything you could have ever wished for. I think this is when it first came out. Hiveswap, Friendsim release dates, volume 3. May 11th. This was... When was it exactly? Come on, when did I post this? Why is it so small? Come on, you're not helping me out any. How am I supposed to know when I made this? I would absolutely be a weenie. Alright. Well, time to be a weenie. You definitely do not like the idea of wading into a monster fight, not even to save the progenitor of your new friend's species. In fact, you don't like that Bronya is so focused on protecting all these helpless toddlers and distressed animals instead of taking care of you. You stammer out that you don't think you can take on any kind of monster right now. In fact, you just felt another stab of pain in your ribs. You might be blacking out. This is extremely fucked up. Bronya's concerned face turns in your direction as you start to swoon. She catches you before you hit the ground and your heart flutters. You look up at her serious face and she looks like such a mom, but also such a friend, like some sort of combination of these two concepts. Yikes, you don't look so good. Can't leave you alone, not when you're in such bad shape. Maybe I could carry you on my back while I try to stop the rampaging Lucis? Your heart flutters. Your heart flutters turn to pinpricks of alarm. That sounds dangerous, mainly for you. You try to think of what you can say to dissuade her, something other than, I think you should ignore the helpless babies and mother in danger behind you in favor of continuing to hold me in your strong arms. But before you can speak, you hear a commotion behind her. She turns to look over her shoulder and her face sags with relief. Yes, the other Jades are here. They should know what to do. We've taken care of crises, however the correct pronouncing for that is, like this before. Of course, usually I'm there to help. If you crane your neck, you can just glimpse a crowd of trolls corralling the rogue Lucis away from the mother grub, while other trolls calm the remaining Luci and swoop up any wigglers in harm's way. It looks like I needn't have worried. They're more than capable of stepping in while I'm otherwise occupied. I'm so proud. You take this opportunity to compliment her on what a good leader she must be, to have trained the others so well. Super smooth. Frickin' bull. She beams at you and sets you down carefully on the cavern floor, kneeling at your side. This could have gone quite badly. I'm glad I didn't make the wrong choice when I stayed to help you instead of rushing off. Just goes to show, sometimes the best thing you can do for the group is take care of the weakest person in it. You kind of want to object to being called the weakest person, but you did just fake a fainting spell for attention, so maybe now isn't the best time. Instead, you thank her sincerely for sticking by your side. The two of you watch together as order is gradually restored to the chaos below, and even with your injuries, you feel close to content and quite hopeful about how this relationship is progressing. You notice that at your side, several wigglers are blindly squirming around, confused and crying. There are some young trolls here too, looking around all lost and barefoot. You're not sure if their Luci ran off with the others that got involved in the fracas, or if these little guys are orphans now. Now that you're seeing them out in the natural cavern light, the wigglers look less like maggots, look like maggots to you. In fact, they're even kind of cute. You can see why Bronya would want to take care of them. One of the smallest wigglers closest to you has somehow flipped himself over onto his back and seems unable to right himself, his little legs waving in the air while he cries. Trying to be careful with your ribs, you reach out to scoop him up and cradle him to your chest, rocking him back and forth until his cries quiet down. Wow, you have a very strong nurturing instinct. I think he likes you. You can almost be his Lucis or a Jade Blood. You're pleased that she approves of your caretaking display. The Wiggler's cough breaks through your haze of smug satisfaction, and when you look down, you realize that he seems to be having some trouble breathing. You point this out to Bronya. Good observation. You really are a natural at taking care of other creatures, aren't you? Some people find that nurturing ability to be very attractive in a potential friend. But as for the Wiggler, this is definitely not a good sign. I'm surprised none of these drones haven't noticed that he's sick. If we leave him here, he'll be cold for sure. Bronya takes the Wiggler from you, and you're more than happy to hand him over, considering that you have no idea what to do with a sick baby that's not your species. Also, your broken ribs make holding a baby kinda painful, and Bronya holds the Wiggler carefully, but with perfect ease, just like you hope she'll and Bronya holds the Wiggler carefully, but with perfect ease. Just like you hope she'll cradle she will cradle your new friendship in its infancy. Once Bronya feels assured that her Jades have the situation at the Brooding Caverns under control, you both take the Wiggler back to the Jade Blood Nursery. You hover around uselessly while Bronya sets up some kind of crib filled with green slime. You're a little concerned when she takes the Wiggler and submerges him under the slime because, he was already having trouble breathing. Surely drowning him in slime won't help. The soaper should help strengthen his bellow sacs and soothe his sorrow shoots. When he gets healthy again, I'll take him back to the cavern and set him free to make his cocoon and pupates. But he's so small, it's unlikely that he'll survive the trials or be selected by a Lucis. You hate to see Bronya looking sad. You try to be sympathetic, mentioning your astute observation that this whole system set up with the Wigglers and trials and the culling seems pretty brutal. What? Oh no, I would never suggest. This is just the way the world works, and it's fine. The trials are how young patrols prove that they're strong enough to survive. It's only right for the weak to be cold. It's the purpose of Jade Blood to ensure the continuation of our species, and consequently, the Hemispectrum. 1. We are not revolutionaries. 2. We are meant to do our jobs and keep our heads down and keep things running smoothly. 3. I would never presume to question the basic tenets of Alternian society. That would bring negative attention from the High Bloods, and I just want to keep my Jade safe. You look around the nursery and all these injured or underdeveloped Wigglers that Bronya was apparently supposed to let die. You think it might not be true that she doesn't question the way her world works. She's looking at you like she's scared you'll call her on it and expose her altruistic tendencies. You try to salvage this conversation thread. Did you say that culling Wiggler sounded brutal? You meant neutral. Yes, you feel 100% neutral on this topic. Neither committed to the culling side of things, nor eager to take up arms in revolution. Yes, neutral is how I feel about it as well. What a good word to describe exactly how I feel about all controversial political subjects. Did I mention that keeping this nursery isn't technically illegal? Because it isn't technically. There's no reason for any of Trish's drones to come investigating our hive. And if any drones do come knocking, we have nothing to hide. No borderline revolutionary ideas will be tolerated within these walls. Bronya laughs nervously and looks around the room. She's making sure that any Imperial drones hiding in here heard her announcement. You feel bad for how nervous she is. You didn't mean to freak her out. You tell her that she sounds super convincing, and why shouldn't she? Because she's clearly telling the truth. If you were an Imperial drone, you would definitely be satisfied right now with her clearly law-abiding and neutral ways. Thank you, that means a lot. You cast about for something to change the subject, and mention that your ribs are feeling a bit better. Bronyan's face brightens as she lifts up your arm gently so she can touch the injured part of the torso, examining it in her typically responsible and authoritative way. You shiver and wonder if her touch has healing properties. I am glad to hear that. After all, I don't like it when my friends suffer. Your heart leaps. You look up, scarcely allowing yourself to hope. Could it be? Or was she just making a general statement? If you're not in any more pain, hopefully that means your injuries will heal soon. I'll take care of you until then, my friend. You are overcome. Your eyes fill with tears. Bronya smiles at you and squeezes your hand. Victory! Self-care comes first. Can I just make this a thumbnail? The thumbnail alone. Just as a reminder. Boop.
Hello, colliding trucks.
Now, let's see how it could all go horribly wrong. Fight the monster. Save the day. You've got this. The bison Lucis seems to be causing quite a ruckus. Other Luci have now gone riled up too, some of them trying to gather wigglers to keep them out of harm's way, and others just getting hyped to thrash. It seems like it could turn into a monster stampede, and they're close to the mother's grubs. Big, soft, vulnerable abdomen. Not great. Fighting a monster single-handed seems like a daunting first step in a friendship, but you did tell her you could be responsible. You square your shoulders and tell Bronya that she has nothing to worry about. You're going to stop that, Lucis, calm down all the other Luci, and protect the mother grub. All without breaking a sweat, and hopefully without breaking any more bones either. Whoa there, I was going to suggest that I go after it while you stay here. You seem kind of weak and fragile, even apart from your injuries, I mean. I don't want you to get hurt worse, and I'm not sure I trust anyone other than myself to take lead on this. That wasn't quite the reaction you were hoping for. Normally, you would be all about sitting back and letting her protect you because, well, protective and responsible is a good look on her. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and you don't know how else you're going to prove yourself worthy to be her friend. You do your best to project an air of confidence, or at least competence. You assure her that this is no sweat for you. You take down raging bison back home on your home planet on all the time. You're known for it, actually. Well, if you say that this isn't your first undulate roving gallop exhibition, I'll believe you. I'll hang back to let you give it a shot. But if it gets too overwhelming there, I'm right here. 1. Caring for the mother grub is my responsibility as a Jadeblood. 2. I'd never abandon a friend to deal with a mess on their own, if we end up being friends, that is. Oh, hell yes. Now you have reason to hope. You approach the rampaging bison with caution. Do all bison have horns like that? Maybe they do. You're no bison expert, but you're pretty sure that they don't all have teeth that nasty. Bison on Earth mostly eat grass, don't they? This guy doesn't look like a herbivore. At first you try to calm the Lucis down by talking to it, but your soothing words have no effect. In fact, you might have just made it even angrier by suggesting that it pause and take some deep breaths and react to its trampled charge. You're not even sure it can understand human speech, come to think of it. You circle around it, wishing that you had some kind of lasso or something. Maybe you can herd it away from the mother grub. You look around to see if any of these other Luci look vaguely like Earth Shepherd dogs, but no dice. You hesitate too long and the Lucis turns away, its furious eyes falling on the mother grub. It stamps its hooves, snorts air out of its nostrils, and screams in a way that sounds a lot more hellish than you imagine normal bison are capable of. It's obviously about the charge, and you can only think of one thing to do. In desperation, you leap forward and tackle it football style, doing everything you can with your flimsy human body to drag it onto its side. It half works. You plow into the Lucis and stop it in its tracks, but it topples over into a nest of wigglers, taking you down with it. Wigglers and young trolls go bouncing everywhere, squealing in distress, and their Luci descend upon you in a rage. Everything is chaos for a while. You're trapped beneath the bison Lucis, which is very worrying for all your body parts, and you think you might feel something important rupturing inside you. But hey, on the bright side, this crushing mass is protecting you from all the other pissed off Luci trying to attack you. Just as your whole breathing situation is starting to get dicey, you hear a commotion and what sounds possibly the trouncing of some of the smaller Luci that were trying to get to you. The crowd of beasts around you scatters, and then you hear her. I'm having a hard time getting this thing off you, and he's still very angry. He keeps trying to kick me. Where's the bronze blood when you need one? You don't know what that means, but you're very grateful that she's here to help you. You try to communicate this, but it comes out garbled from all the blood in your mouth. Maybe don't try to speak or move or help. You experience a sinking feeling that could be related to your diminishing odds of impressing Bronya and becoming her friend, or it could be the compression of all your internal organs. Either way, it's tough to feel optimistic right now. But before you can give in to complete despair, you hear other voices. Your view is blocked by the mass of bison flesh on top of you. But could it be? Are these other people here to save you? Finally, I was wondering where you all had gone off to. Let's all work together, girls. 1. You two grab its horn to keep the head still and keep it from biting anyone. 2. The rest of you, come around with me to its backside so we can push it without getting kicked. You hear some grunting and muttering, and the bison starts making noises that sound more... heck no. No, don't stop. Pause. Alright, turns out I'll have to get off the computer for a bit, but I will still be able to record the second half of the volume today, so it doesn't matter. Might as well finish this, though. You hear some grunting and muttering, and the bison starts making noises that sound more confused and less furious. The pressure and pain on your chest briefly spike in intensity as the thing weights shift, and then they must succeed in dragging it off you because suddenly you can breathe again. But the crisis is not yet over. While you're still testing the use of your lungs and blinking up at the cavern ceiling, and you hear a new cacophony of enraged monster noises. Oh, the other Luci are still agitated. Get down there and try to calm them down. Protect the mother grub. You try to lift yourself to see what's going on, but putting any weight on your arms makes you feel like maybe all your bones got turned to confetti. Painful confetti. You feel strong hands propping you up gently, and now your head is in Bronyan's lap. You try to focus more on how this is a nice place for your head to be and less on the pain. This is not good. I don't know if my Jades can reach the stampede in time, and the mother grub could get injured, not to mention all these wigglers in danger. Oh no. You didn't think this situation could get any worse, but now you see that several of the Imperial drones that had been about to leave the cavern are turning back, drawn by all the noise and chaos. But maybe this could be a good thing? Maybe they can instill some order? Fuck! They're going to kill everyone! She scrambles to her feet, in the process letting her head whack down on the cave floor. Your vision swims, but you can still make out the drones firing indiscriminately at the Luci, at the grubs and wigglers, and at the Jade Bloods. One laser beam skims the side of the mother grub's massive midsection, and her scream is so loud that the ceiling shakes, and a few stalactites shake loose, falling on drones and Luci and wigglers alike. It's a total catastrophe. A whole rainbow's worth of troll, wiggler, and Lucis blood is splattering the cavern walls. Bronya seems paralyzed by the chaos, looking from her jades to the mother grub to the imperiled wigglers like she's not sure who to help first. I can't believe it. This is the worst disaster we've ever had down here. And all because I thought I could sit back and let someone else be responsible for once. If I were a less secure person, I could let this moment plant a seed of self-doubt in my mind and about my ability to take care of others and do my job well. Or I could chalk it up to you being really fucking stupid. You shrink under the weight of her glare. She's green in the face from how angry she is. You swallow and manage to spit out enough blood to ask a question that you already know is hopeless. Does this mean you can't be friends? Are you serious right now? I do not make friends with anyone who recklessly endangers the trolls and wigglers under my care. You killed them all! Game over. She looks like Batman. This could be an origin story for Troll Batman or something if he was a Jade Blood. What blood color is Troll Batman actually? Okay. Homestuck Troll Batman. None of those are Batman. Wait. I think I saw something. By being Batman. Oh my. Oh my. I'll need to look at that later. But, yeah. Well, I'll get to the other half, soon. For now, heck. Seamless cut. I am back to die, I guess. To get the second half of this done. With Skyla Corriga. I'm going to do the worst voice possible, aren't I? Gotta make sure it's still... Alright, it's still recording my mic. Come on. As dawn approaches, you find yourself heading out of the big city and into the rustic outskirts. Man, the sun is bright on this planet. It's rising over the crest of the distant hills, a huge fiery ball. The later it gets, the bigger and bigger it grows, way bigger than you've ever seen the sun on Earth. What's that smell? Could it be your flesh beginning to sizzle? Fantastic! You love the country! No wonder the nightlife seems so active on Alternia. They are all nocturnal to avoid brutal daily roasting. You reach into your pocket for your cool new shades, but you appear to have left them at your friend's house. Fuck. You gotta get yourself together. The recent physical trauma and excessive blood loss has you a little fuzzy. You aren't built for this wilderness survival shit. You're starting to wish you just stolen a fucking Lamborghini or something instead of a spaceship. You stole the spaceship. Ah, gee. It's times like this I wish I'd started YouTube, doing these types of YouTube videos a lot sooner. Because, then my reaction would be a lot more genuine, because I'm pretty sure I said all this before, but I played the first 6 volumes recently, and played until volume 14, I think, in total. Although, so that means after 6, I won't remember stuff as well, and after 14, I won't remember anything, because I won't have experienced it. Alright, this seriously isn't looking good. The city is too far away now for you to turn back, so you have no choice but to keep walking. Maybe you can find a cave or a hole in the ground. Maybe you can just cover yourself with grass. You wish that someone had mentioned the Death Sun in between offering you alien meat products and calling you their muse. Off to your left in the distance, you catch sight of what might be the of what might be the shimmer of sunlight on glass, a window, a solar panel. You could seriously clean up with renewable energy on this planet. Should you change your trajectory and go towards the shimmer, it might just be a mirage. Well, obviously, if we don't go... So obviously, if it is something... if it is something, then if we forget it, we're going to die. If it is a mirage and we head towards it, well, we're also going to die. So, might as well, even if it turns out to be a mirage, still, go towards the shimmer. You turn your aching, stinging meat sack towards a distant, promising sparkle of safety and succor. You focus on just staying upright. One step at a time, just keep swimming or whatever. God, the sun though. You need SPF 5 million for this nonsense. But then, almost like it has picked itself up to come scuttling to meet you, you suddenly find yourself in front of a long, low structure. You let out a yelp of anguish pounding on the door. At least you hope it's a door. What in the world? The door opens and you fall inside with one of the most pathetic whimpers of your career. Blessed darkness closes in on you. From right beside you comes a snuffling yip, like some jokers making fun of your dire situation. Something warm and wet glides up your stinging cheek. Hold on, lady! Give him some room! A pair of hands help you to sit up, gently. Your eyes haven't adjusted enough to make out more than a couple shapes, one upright and one lower to the ground. What were you doing out there? Can you stand? Strong arms pull you to your feet. You wonder if everyone on this planet is strong or if you are just extremely flimsy. Throat. Feels like there's something in my freaking throat. Blech. Alright, that's better. But, basically the whole hemospectrum thing. So, the higher you are in the hemospectrum, the more powerful you are. She's like the second to lowest class. So, she's going to be stronger than you, but not incredibly strong. Anyway, trying to say stutter, you begin to explain yourself, that you are an injured, exhausted traveler who is ravenous for pals. Well, bless your heart! But hold on, tick. Dinner's about to burn. Now that your rescuer mentions it, you do smell something. It smells amazing. Funny you should just blunder in here like that. I was just saying, wasn't I, lady? It's been so long since we've had any sort of guess who weren't Imperial drones are out to rob us. You rub at your watering, slowly clearing eyes, and when you look back up, your rescuer finally comes into focus. She's tall. Taller than anyone else you've met here, you think. Also, maybe a little older? Not that you're an expert in physiology. She just has an air of knowledgeable competence. She's wearing a fringed jacket and holding up a plate. There you go. Your oculars feeling any better? By the by, my name's Skyla. Pleasure to meet you. And this here's Lady. She looks down, and at first you think she means the table, but then you look under the table at the giant monster dog looking up at you. You joke so hard you fly almost backward out of your goddamn chair. Whoa there! No need for theatrics. It looks a little like one of those Lassie dogs with the pointed noses, except enormous and pure white. Its barks practically shake the whole house. Hey there, lady. No need to be rude. They've clearly had one hell of a time and they don't look dangerous, just really peculiar. Besides, if they try anything, you and me can take 'em. Skyla puts her hands on her hips, staring you down with thunderous yellow eyes. Right. No funny business, you hear? You swallow and nod, trying to look unthreatening and obliging, ready for anything. For instance, friendship. You are so ready for that. Skyla sets down the plate she's holding. Here, have a grub cake. There's plenty. That sounds gross as hell, but what's sitting on the plate looks and smells exactly like a normal pancake. Golden brown and crispy at the edges. There's boiled tree blood, too, if you'd like. Also, churned dairy products. She puts down a carafe of syrup and a dish of butter. Man, everything here has really weird names. Skyla pours out a cup of some very familiar smelling liquid. Brown bean juice, you guess. Skyla raises an eyebrow. No, that's just coffee. She sits down next to you. You're lucky you were only out in the light at dawn. Nobody wants to be out in direct Alternian sunlight besides jade bloods. And no offense, but you certainly ain't any jade blood that I've ever seen. At first I thought you were some sort of mutated Lucis because you don't have horns and you were grunting and yipping up a storm back there. About the jade blood statement, I smell a contradiction. So, in Homestuck, Kanaya is the jade blood, right? But, she said, in her introduction, it said that she's one of the, I don't know how to word it, but a very few trolls, she's one of the very few trolls who can actually handle direct sunlight and actually enjoys it. And, but that shouldn't expand to the whole J-Blood casting. I'm not sure. I don't think so. It's weird. At first I thought you were some sort of mutated Lucis because you don't have horns and you were grunting and yipping up a storm back there. But you're an alien, right? Don't worry, I won't call the drones. I'd best get used to being around aliens anyway, seeing how I'm gonna be seeing a whole mess of y'all come next sweep. She laughs nervously. You aren't sure what she's talking about. Do you even need to specify that anymore? It's just natural law at this point. Gravity, the conservation of energy, and you don't know what the fuck is going on. Lady, would you mind drawing a bath for our guest? No offense, but you smell like you could use one. Can't argue with that. You offer her a cautious smile. God, she seems so nice and caring, but you've been burned before, and cut, and generally kicked around by fate. It's a tough world out there, but you want to trust Skyla. Lady takes the bucket in her muzzle and runs out into the yard, getting up on her hind legs and batting at the door latch to open it. It's adorable. The sun is high enough now that the whole landscape outside is washed in white. Oh god, the dog! It's sweet of you to worry. Lucy are fine going outside for a little while in the daylight. The coats reflect light or something to that effect. I don't really know how it works. I ain't exactly known for my scientific acumen. You tell her that she seems pretty smart from where you're standing. As cynical as you are becoming, you just can't help trying to be your friend. She's so nice and, wow, really pretty. Not that that's a requirement for friendship, but your rednecks would have to be way more scalded than they are to not to notice that. That's nice of you to say, but it wouldn't even really matter if I was a bona fide genius. Someone of my caste could never hope to rise in the ranks. But best I can hope for is hauling crates on some cargo vessel. How do the Rustbloods have it then? Ranks? Cargo vessel? You swallow your bite of grub cake, ready to ask her if she is thinking about joining the military. But just then a swell of noise erupts from outside the house. Shouts, crashes, and Lady's frantic barks. Skyla gasps and launches herself out of the chair, knocking over the carafe of syrup. It oozes across the tabletop in a sticky wave. Oh no! Not now! What the hell is going on? Bandits! Goddamn Lucis thieves! You don't get the chance to ask anything else before Skyla careens towards the door, throwing up an arm as blazing white light pours in. Oh god, she's going to go outside and burn up. She isn't thinking straight. You've got to do something. Save? I think I might actually turn my mic volume down just a tiny bit. Like that. Should be so. When I do a voice like this, it doesn't like make the volume really freaking basically ear rape. Well, stop her. We're going to die. Skyla is bigger than you, and she has the strength of both desperation and I made the wrong choice, didn't I? And a superior genome, so you don't feel great about your chances. But you have to try. Skyla is too upset to be careful. You have to stop her from hurting herself. You stumbled into her house all gross and pathetic and alien, and she didn't turn you away. She gave you pancakes for Chris' sake. Grub cakes, whatever. And it isn't just the sun. From the number of voices, there got to be 20 people out there. She doesn't stand a chance. You run up behind her and hook your arms under hers, hauling her back by the armpits. She struggles, jabbing her elbow into your aching ribs. Let me go! You don't understand! Don't take her! Lady! You hold grimly on, going limp and using gravity and your own dead weight to pull her down to the floor. Through wheezing breath, you tell her she can't go out there. Didn't she just tell you that you'd never have survived it if it had been later than dawn? You probably aren't making much sense, but you keep up a stream of worthless bullshit until something catches. Would your Lucis really want this for you, Skyla? Would Lady really want you to sacrifice yourself for her? Skyla goes rigid, and then all the fight just drains out of her like blood down a drain. She sags back into your arms. The two of you watch Lady thrashing in a huge black net as several of the figures haul her away. The sun is too bright to see them clearly, but they appear to be herding more white creatures out of a paddock and into a collection of vehicles. The herd? She says it so quietly you feel it more than hear it. You continue to watch as Lady is packed into one of the vehicles and they drive away, kicking up clouds of dust that glimmer in the brutal sun. You can let me go now. I'm not going to throw myself out into the daylight like a romance novel heroine. You realize just how tight you're holding on to her and loosen your arms, pulling away and sitting up. Skyla's cheeks are wet with tears, but she quickly shakes her hair into her face to hide it. That makes your heart hurt. You want to tell her that everything is going to be okay, but you make it a point not to lie to your friends. You have absolutely no idea how it's going to be. And before you can say anything at all, she gets up and disappears through a door and further into the house. Give her some space. You decide to mind your own business. Well, you do try the door, but it's locked. Best to keep occupied and do what you can for her. First, you shut the door to keep that sweltering heat and blinding light out. Then you tidy up the kitchen a little. Everything here is oddly textured and colored. The shape's unusually organic. Some of it is worryingly scuttly and alive. You do your best. You mop up the syrup and straighten the chairs. You're just trying to figure out how to get the sink to spit out some water onto the dirty dishes when Skyla comes back out. Her eyes are Oh. You're just trying to figure out how to get the sink to spit out some water onto the dirty dishes when Skyla comes back out. Her eyes are dry and her hair is combed back out of her face. Don't you worry about that. You're gonna break something. She plays with one of her beaded bracelets with nervous little fidgets of her fingers. I could have never taken those fellas by myself, especially not in broad daylight. I wanted to thank you for stepping in and stopping me. I was overwrought. You nod, accepting her thanks. She doesn't seem overwrought anymore, just numb. Wow, this is actually a legitimately terrible situation. Not even in a dumb zany way like all the other horse shit that has happened to you recently. You wonder who those guys even were. Lucis themes. Thieves. They've come before, but always at night and never in such large numbers, so Lady and me could always take him. I never expected anything like this. For them to come out in force like this in the middle of the day. She sits down at the table, putting her elbow in a patch of syrup you missed. You offer her the dishcloth and notice several little discolored patches on her arm. It looks like she got burned just from having her arm out the door for like a minute and a half. You're really glad you didn't let her go out there. You've endured a lot of heinous shit on your short span on this planet. Injuries and lots of added insults to those injuries. But the time you spend with Skyla waiting for the sun to go down is some of the worst and most hopeless. You don't know what to say to help her. You aren't actually her friend. You aren't even the same species. The Troll/Lucis relationship is a little confusing, but they seem to be some combination of caretaker and pet, more symbiotic than parent and child. Finally, it gets late enough to venture outside, and you follow Skyla out to the empty paddock. There's nothing out here but a broken fence and trampled ground. Lots of kids lose their Luci. It's just a part of life. I would have been heading into the ordeals next sweep anyway. I would have never seen her again. But at least I would have gotten a chance to say goodbye, you know? It's kind of a bummer how resigned everyone on this planet seems to terrible things happening. Then again, you guess that's sort of true on your planet too. Existence just a goddamn mess. You try to give her the most understanding look you can, just a really good and supportive friend face. You're killing it. But Skyla isn't paying attention to your glowing facade. She's reaching into her jacket and pulling out her phone. What the hell? My palm husk is blowing up. Oh god! Skyla drops her phone in the dirt and claps a hand over her mouth. Her eyes sparkle with tears. You pick it up. It's kind of squishy and squirms in your hand a little, which you don't love. You also don't love what's on the screen. It's a troll in a mask, holding a gun on Lady, who is still in that net, baring her teeth. The gun looks fake, kind of like a Nerf gun. You bet it's not a Nerf gun. The photo is accompanied by more of that spiky text you can't read. Hey, how can you understand the Alternian spoken language but not the written? You decide not to think about it too hard, waste of time. They sent a ransom demand. They say that if I can't pay, they'll sell her. Troll-Luci are valued for their strength over all the galaxy. The heiress knows about the black market, but she doesn't do anything about it. She just takes a cut. You ask her how much the ransom demand is for, as if you have a penny to your name. She tells you a number that sounds stupidly large, even without knowing the exchange rate to Earth money. They're just mocking me. They know a bronze blood can't afford this. They just want to force me to fill her one more time. Her voice breaks on a sob. You reach over and put your hand on her arm. She looks at you with big watery arms, and you brace for her to fall into your arms sobbing. You're actually kind of hoping for it. Not that you're the type to want to profit off another's fame, but you're pretty sure that offering comfort in a time of crisis is a first-class ticket to Friendsville. Instead, Skyla gives you a hard shove backwards. You take two stumbling steps and fall on your ass. Something squishes underneath you. A cow pat or something alive? You aren't sure which you'd prefer, honestly. Sorry, I didn't actually push you that hard. Your species just seems very flimsy. I don't want sympathy right now, especially not from you. She stands framed between the two moons. Some trick of perspective making her look just as distant and just as sad. Not that the moons are inherently sad. Whatever, that's not the issue right now. Had Skyla been lying to you before when she said she doesn't blame you? She'd even thank you for stopping her from killing herself. Nah, I don't blame you. I just can't stand the sight of you. Looking at you just reminds me of losing Lady, and I don't think that'll ever change. Sorry. I really was hoping we could be friends. It's been a really long time since I've seen anybody out here that goes on 2 legs instead of 4. But I just don't think it's gonna work out. If you start walking now, you can probably make it to the city before sunrise. Or there's a Jadeblood colony nearby if you want to inflict your personal brand of assistance on them. Bye. You leave with your proverbial tail between your legs, and the last glimpse you get of Skyla, she's standing next to the empty paddock, staring at the ground. Game over. Well, we fucked up bad. Good thing we got the worst ending first. But let's get the other bad ending first. Forget it. Honestly, you could probably see this one coming. Wasn't that a graphic from Homestuck? Game over. And now. Help her! What the hell? You've already experienced the Alternian Sun. It sucked a whole lot. Maybe now it will suck less because of how bad it sucked then. Just a sliding scale of suckage. Skyla plunges out into the daylight in the direction of the commotion, and like a big dumb asshole, you barrel out into the blazing hellscape after her. Surprise! It still sucks. You had sunburns before, but this is ridiculous. This is a fucking monster of a gas giant pointing and laughing at a tiny speck of humanity you represent and trembling before the void. It's a pure assault on all your senses. The light is almost as bad as the heat, and you put up your arms to block the glare. Following the dust, Skyla kicks up behind her. You doubt your eyes will actually ever adjust to this fuckery, but you can see a little better than before. There are about a dozen of them, all of them trolls, all wearing dark, padded outfits that cover their faces. They look halfway between hazmat suits and SWAT uniforms. All of them have big, fake-looking guns that probably aren't fake. In fact, one of them shoots a laser at your face. You duck, and it leaves a blazing heat trail across your cheek. But as all of you is currently burning, it doesn't really break your stride. Skyla throws herself into the fray, letting out a war cry accompanied by the sound of fist-hitting flesh. It's 12 against 2, which, if you remember your fractions right, is not unlike 6 against 1. But these guys had probably not been expecting a frontal assault, and they had definitely not been expecting a Skyla, who is frankly fucking terrifying. She shoves 3 throws down like dominoes, grabbing a discard gun and shooting all 3 while they're on the ground. You have never been in a fight before, fucking all-out brawl. It's scary, but now that you are in the thick of it, also kind of awesome. Sure, your skin is burning and you could be killed at any moment, but that's just how it goes on this planet. You just gotta get into the swing of things. Take no prisoners, kill or be killed. Hell yeah. You pop one of the also Undertale reference, probably. You pop one of the bandit's trolls in the face. Fuck! That probably does hurt your fist more than it hurt the troll, but it does throw them off balance for long enough for Skyla to smash the butt of her gun into the side of their head. Yeehaw! Hell yeah! She gives you a wide grin. The two of you are beaming at each other while a hostile alien sun tries to boil away the liquid from your eyeballs, and a bunch of bandits try to dognap a giant monster. You love this girl. In a friendship way. But still, you love her. You make an awesome team. Another troll comes up behind Skyla and she smashes an elbow into their throat, grabbing them by the front of their uniform and suplexing them onto the dusty ground. She wails on them with her bare hands. God, she's really hot. Get lady! Oh, right. You stumble over to where the Lucis is thrashing inside a big black net. You don't have any way to cut her free, but she's already doing great on her own, biting through the fibers with her big sharp teeth. You hold the net still for her to finish the job, then pull it off her so she can join the fray. It's over fast after that. How did they even get Lady into the net in the first place? She's so giant and quick, grabbing trolls in her jaws and shaking them like true toys. The remaining 5 who are still standing jump into their weird little dune buggies and make tracks. Emphasis on the bug. They look like scuttling little beetles. Skyla chases after them for a few hundred yards, throwing the gun after them and shouting obscenities. And stay away, ya hear? Tell the rest of them why you don't ever fuck with a Rusty's ranch. She stands silhouetted against the blazing sun, the dress trails vanishing into the distance. You are awash in heady victory, giggling like a lunatic before the adrenaline kind of drains out of you all at once. You are violently reminded of your fucked up ribs and recent blood loss. The Alternian sun beats down, and your arms are already covered in raised patches of red skin. This is a sunburn turned up to 11. Well, there, are you okay? Skyla is swaying too. A spray of olive green blood covers her cheek. At least the rainbow blood on this plant means you can be sure it isn't hers, but she still looks rough, kind of like how you feel. Lady, come here, girl. Wow, you're gonna sit down, maybe just take a little break. The pale landscape swoops, going even paler. No, you can't rest here. You die, dumbass. Not letting anything happen to my new best friend. Get up. New best friend? Holy shit. That makes you so happy. You absolutely can't die here. Not when you've just made such an amazing friend. Somehow, the two of you manage to drag each other across the yard and towards the house. Hive. You're gonna get this lingo down if it kills you. Whenever you feel yourself about to fall forward, you lean on Skyla. When you start to fall back, Lady is there to brace herself against the back of your knees. She's such a good Lucis. You wonder if she'll be your friend too. Her muzzle is dripping with a soup of multicolored alien blood. When you get back into the darkness of the hive, you can't see shit. Dang, your species really ain't suited for this kind of environment, huh? Can't even see in the dark. In demonstration, you walk right into the table. You've about had it with tables. You're sworn enemies at this point. Slowly getting brighter. Please, don't knock down my nutrition platform. I built it myself. She sounded exhausted but giddy. Dang, you really did that thing, didn't you? You kinda want to go in for the hug, but that sunburn is really something. It feels like tiny needles piercing your arms and cheeks. The back of your neck is a colony of fire ants. Oh, yeah. Feels real bad, don't it? Come on, there's only one cure for sunrash. Skyla takes your hand. Gosh, this is next level friendship stuff. She leads you through her hive, and who knows if you are ever going to get all your vision back. Maybe you're just blind for life. You'll have to get a cane and a whimsical aesthetic and learn to navigate the world by smell alone. No, that would be stupid. Here we go. My cube isn't huge, but you're kind of scrawny. What are you waiting for? Take your clothes off. Man, the sun must have fucked with more than just your eyes, because you could have sworn Skylar just told you to take your clothes off. You are seriously not getting into my Recupera cocoon in those filthy rags. Not even sure what those clothes were supposed to be originally. Yeah, you aren't so sure about your look either. Another new friend of yours told you it was rad, but you were both a little high at the time. You might be a little high right now. You wonder if sunstroke causes auditory hallucinations. Also, you don't know what a Recupera cocoon is. Really? Then what the heck do you sleep on your planet? You hear rustling, followed by the sound of clothes hitting the floor, and then a weird gloop gloop, like someone getting into a bathtub, only thicker. If a troll didn't have silver, well, I don't rightly know what would happen, but I reckon it wouldn't be great. It can speed the healing process for burns and small wounds. I'm not sure what it's gonna do to your weird alien autonomy, but I don't see how it's gonna make it any worse. You tell Skyla that in your experience, things can always get worse, especially from her perspective right now, since she's about to see you naked. Nothing like a little self-deprecating humor as an A+ cover for crippling insecurity. Skyla laughs. Come on now, I'm sure you're a perfectly healthy example of your species. Just get in already. I promise this isn't any sort of pale solicitation, or flesh for that matter. I know it's awkward, but I only got the one coop. Right, okay, yeah, you can totally do this. You can make this not weird. Of course, you trip taking off your goddamn pants and Skylar starts laughing all over again. Not in a mean way, more in a chill, please join me in my slime bathtub, old chum way. In a non-awkward way. In a friend way. Victory! You look like an egg. Your stomach looks like an egg. And that's about it. What does it say about new friends? Bronze Brawling. You fought off a pack of Lucis Wranglers. Self-care. You took care of the weakest link. Woo. Bum bum ba bum ba bum. I know some of these are like, I know this route has 2 endings here, but I don't know about these. Like, if this... Does this mean there's 2 different endings, or you get a reward for doing a certain thing? It says I. Oh, no. Oh, I say that's a perfect time to stop. I've done all I need to do. I'm tired and about ready to just go to bed. I'll get this video uploaded tomorrow. Not that it matters, because it's already uploaded when you see this. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go die now.